want to talk now, just for a moment, a brief second in the dialogue of stars of you and I. This listener, and this stuttering over the self-poet invisible in the mirror because I was sick. Anorexic too long, I was stick thin until somebody said, "You look like a fucking Holocaust victim." Skeletal in a regime of a neogenesis born of death, like you walked out of a camp over mountains. And the movement that you sway in the never-ending light of a glass realm, you're frail. You're like the Lord of Flies without remedy that you get worse, and the leather wings are your skin, the flesh over your dying hide, and you're like dry dunes in the sand of a three-legged workhorse. There is no happiness in you because you're a man filled with remorse, but I compromise a recourse, and I speak. My recountenance is that I am powder, and what little smoke is left will bellow itself forward in beautiful words like threads and forms, and the world's over tweets to this poetic realm that I'm speaking in a commutal blood loss of my tattooed time spent over time, borrowed from the hands of grace. I am empathetic to every cause, and this is why I seem forlorn, and the world is over. This is my journal, and I bleed it over with the choreography of calligraphy, and that is my spoken word attempts, wherein I began. And I realized this, that the remedy of me speaking and living to do so will mean that I will die empty, and that the remedy will kill me. And this is the beauty of my this is the beauty of my glass realm, and my burial will be the flame frost sand that I touched, and it will burn itself over, and you and I will merely walk and touch it in a new realm, in a world passed over, because I'll still exist in this requiem. This will be my epitaph, and you will remember that I exist far beyond the day where I died, not because I wanted to, but because one night before the podium of my auction block where I sold the theorem of myself and the overdue complex that correlates itself over every moral code that I live by. This is where I died, and I sold myself for the vanishing light in the world where grace is nothing but an inflicted nurture against the nature that says suicide is okay if you choose this, as long as you do it in the next room. I can't stand to see you do it, because I'm muted by the arms of death and an overdose of self in the mirror that's dialoguing an internal monologue, but it's inaudible in the mirror because the flame-frozen sand is telling you that the discord of self is something like what I used to see, the anorexic self in the mirror turn sideways and disappear. I can't believe that I'm streaming this consciousness like a glass realm, like the Lord of the Flies is standing over me, and my leather corporeal skin is becoming ethereal as I transition in the next life of three-legged workhorse. I'm dying. I'm dying at the top of a mountaintop. I'm screaming, but all is quiet because I'm inaudible. This is my internal monologue, and it's the dream of a dying hero, a vigilante on this display, broken and trying to find a queen who now bears a name. She's not far off, and the relief of finding is trust and forgiveness is not accompanied by a test, but it is mending. It merely speaks to me and says that we are breaking away from the past, no longer strangers to the self in the moment. We are hand in hand, arm over shoulder. You're healing in a solar flare morning walk away from the distant dreams of the past, and where nightmares are a torrent of rain, of ill-begotten memories that hover over us like nights gyrating, a stranger in a hip-landed dreams, This is something I never experienced because it was harmful to my mental fortitude and perseverance to find you, my queen, and this is the portal of my corpse, my mouth, and it's detested because in the mirror is this an audible monologue that I'm singing in a recompense unstable dream, assuming the heart that is stout in the tirade of solitude in the moment of a flame frozen sand in the mirror. I turn sideways in a repetitive cycle of I'm anorexic, so let's disappear. The suicide is okay as long as I do it in another room and you never hear about it, but I'm sorry, it'll be all over the news, not because I am, but because I was, and this is the epitaph of what I leave behind because I'm just a dreamer, inspiring dreams, and I'm sorry I lived through it. And this, as we know it, our arms are muted by debt and the conflict of arms over, backwards. So cuddle with one another, embrace truth that is the trinity of the most beautiful three words, and pardon all signs of forgiveness over mercy, and live by apathy, which is nothing, the opposite of empathy, which is what you should be. And now, do describe the riddle, apathy or empathy. Lethargy synonym for its brother, war, like progress. So dream now, for a parade of the heart, a tap dancing transmission of the regime of a requiem undeaded to dreamers like me. For I am nothing but a lover, hopeless romantic, and a moralist. For the sake of others, I bleed, forever haunted.